Hey, what's up everybody? This is Steve Giammona from the Steve Giammona Show here. In this episode, I sit down and chat with Dal. He's the owner of Phono Select Records here in Sacramento. It's a good chat. We talk about records, obviously. We talk about how the coronavirus has affected his business and what he's doing to move forward during these crazy times. He even goes through some of my records that I brought, and I got his opinion on some of them. So it's a good chat. Check it out.
Welcome to Steve Giammona Show.
We finally started talking.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah.
So you guys, how have obviously, like we were talking before they started recording, but the whole COVID thing, it's affected you guys, but not really, because you're still able to do the curbside, and you guys are doing a lot of online stuff too, huh?
Okay, and yeah, one aspect it hasn't affected us because we're still coming in every day, 7 days a week, 6-7 hours a day, doing what we do. And the way it's affected us is we're just not making any money. We're probably making 10% of what we used to make.
Yeah, it's definitely taken the wind out of a lot of sales and everything. So,
dude, it's the ship's on the rocks, man.
So you were saying. So anyway, your name's Dal. You own Phono Select here in Sacramento. Yeah. You said you came over from England.
Oh no, I came over when I was a little kid. Dude. I was like 5 years old.
Oh yeah. So how did this kind of come to be? Did you grow up working in record stores, or was it just kind of? I mean, obviously owning a record store is more of kind of like a passion project, I think, right?
Yeah, you definitely don't do it to become rich. You need to be cool for little kids, I guess.
Yeah.
You're like a cool nerd, or cool geek, or whatever you want to say. I think what happened was that, I was going to college. I just always liked records. Like I was that teenage kid that, you were like, let's go do this, and I'd be like, nah, dude, I got to buy a record.
Yeah.
Like, hey, give me $1, I'll tape it for you, but I want to buy this record. I didn't like, I'm like, same thing with, you got to the point where, even going out with girls, if, I had to pay for stuff, it's like, no way, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to save it for a record.
Yeah, save it for a record. Girls aren't that cool, And so I just always bought records. I gave up everything, comics, whatever. Records were, everything to me. But I was going to college at, the local community college in Stockton. And,
are you from that area?
That's where I spent most of my... Next to Sacramento, that's the longest I've ever lived.
Oh, I grew up in Lodi.
Yeah, so I went to high school in Lodi, Tokay, and...
I went to Lodi High.
Yeah, Senior L. And,
yeah, Senior.
Yeah, I went to Senior L.
Shit.
That's where, I got really into punk with Senior Elementary,
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
53.
Oh, okay. I'm 38.
Yeah,
so,
I kind of knew... But anyway, let's go back to the record store.
Yeah.
So one day I'm working at, I'm not working. I'm at the record store. I'm helping. I'm talking to them, and I'm like, hey, you should get this, you should get that, you should get that. So I used to get all the magazines. I used to go home and buy all the crazy, not just the big ones like NME or Melody Maker or New Music, all the big British ones or Sounds or something. But I was also buying fanzines already, and I was just weird Australian magazines. What was that one that was really good? It was not punk, but it was jangly rock. Bucket Full of Brains. I think maybe about German, or there was an Australian one called Lemon. It was all these great zines, Boston Globe, and they would tell you about the new music. A lot of them have flexi discs. So I'd go in and ask. And one day, one of the people there was she's like, hey, I buy this stuff. You know more about it than I do. They used to put out this little yellow pad, and I'd just fill it up with band names.
Oh, really?
They'd be like, calm down, Turbo, you can't write 40 band names on there. And I was asking about, this is a new thing called thrash metal, I'm getting these demo tapes, and they're just like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah. So one day they hand me this thing, and they're like, hey, why don't you just do the order for us?
Oh, wow.
So I start doing the order.
Yeah.
I'm in there, and, and I totally did not look like a record store employee. I had short hair, no facial hair. I looked like a square. I mean, probably the most I ever looked like a record store employee is when I looked like kind of like a little bit of like maybe a skinhead or something, you know, or like I had a mohawk of like a year or a half earlier.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, but I was pretty square looking by then. You know, one day the manager walks up to me and goes, "Hey, help me move these racks." I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool." I start moving racks, and he goes, "Hey, who the hell are you? I don't even know you." He goes, "Do you work here?" And I'm like, "No, I don't work here. I just help out." And he's like, "Do you want a job?" And I was like, "What are you guys paying?" They're like, like minimum wage, like $3.35 an hour. And I was like, $3.35 an hour?
Yeah.
Dude, who the hell works for $3.35 an hour? I can do that. You know, I go home and then someone's all, "Dude, you can meet girls there." And I was like, "What? Oh, holy cow, you can meet girls." And then I was like, "Do you get free records?" And they're like, "Yeah, you get free records." And I was like, "Cool, sign me up. I'm not doing nothing." I just figured I'd quit by the summer. Mm-hmm. I'd go work back in the canneries or something, make a bunch of money, and then, you know. Plus, I still had a paper route. I was like, "Dude, I have plenty of money." You know, but it just took off from there. I just loved it. I fell in love.
Yeah. What record store was it?
Tower Records, Stockton.
Oh, is that one?
Yeah.
That was, I'm assuming it's still, or I don't know now, but it turned into a Rasputin's.
It's a bank now.
It's a bank now? That sucks, man. I gave them so much money back in the day.
Yeah.
And then there was Replay.
Around the corner, yeah. I remember when that started, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Replay was the shit, man, because they had everything. Yeah. And they had, like, I just remember seeing, like, Iggy Pop, the Idiot. They had like a huge poster of that, and I was like, man, I know who Iggy Pop is, but that's crazy looking. And
oh yeah, dude, Willie was totally dope, dude. He was in this awesome like hard rock band called Jet Red, you know, back in the day, and then you know I met Mida. Oh
yeah, Mida Goodish or whatever.
I never could say Mida's last name right, but he's like one of the most nicest guys in the world. So,
yeah,
you know, and So
when did you move out of Stockton then?
The first time. 89, maybe 90. I moved to New York.
Oh, wow.
Because my girlfriend and my best friend, one of my best friends, they had moved to New York. They had moved to New York, I think, a couple years earlier. But I'm kind of a mama's boy, so it took me a while.
Yeah, New York's pretty intimidating, too. Okay, yeah, because, I mean, like I said, I'm 38, so, like, in the mid to late-ish 90s, we were going to shows in Stockton, Seaford Center, God damn, there was another one.
The Mexican Social Center downtown on the South Side?
I don't know if we went to that one.
Who'd you see? Like
Sandwich Mafia. There was a ska band.
Those are probably more like Mida shows, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he had that place for Plea for Peace for quite a few years, and then that was later. But
this was way before that. Yeah. Like Sandwich Mafia. Betty Rage was one of them. Shit, man. Just like not Silence. Was it Silence Broken? Yeah, then they became Long Drive Home. Just all kinds of just different bands. Nuclear Rabbit was one of them. That was like the first, like just nuts, insane, like just crazy bands I remember seeing.
Stockton's a gnarly place to see shows, you know. It's a blue collar city. People forget like how blue collar, like Stockton and Lodi are. So the kids just go off. It's like, you know, a lot of boredom, you know. Like Sacramento's totally different.
Yeah, we so like growing up in Lodi, we had the senior center, which the guy that he lives in Montreal now, but he comes back here like for Christmas. So I'm hoping that when he comes back this Christmas, if there is a Christmas or whatever, he can come on. But yeah, he started putting on shows at the Lodi Senior Center. His name's Mike Bernard, and he started pulling in like Papa Roach played there a few times, and there's just kind of like other like hardcore bands I never really got into. But yeah, it's the same. The small town, nothing to do. You know, let's start our own bands. Let's rage. Let's do whatever.
And what I like about those kind of places, even if you're not into that band, like some of my friends were in punk bands. Later on, they went on to be like in Pearl Jam style bands, or like, you know, and everybody would come out. The hippie kids, the metal kids. You would just go because, fuck it, you know, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, nothing to do.
And the cool thing was you hung out. Like I think, like at least for me, what I thought was really fortunate is you hung out with all those different kids. Mm-hmm. You know, you didn't just hang out with kids that just listened to the same 10 bands you did. You know, after a while, you made friends that liked all this different music. So you just always, it was just about music was like the core thing, and then whatever like subculture you belong to is secondary a lot of times. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like we kind of talked about before we started recording was like the whole Lookout scene. That was kind of my friends, and then from there. You know, I never really was like a jock or a stoner or anything like that. It was just like I kind of fit in with everybody.
Yeah, you just like music, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I mean, like, you know, like I love hardcore. Mm-hmm. You know, I love punk rock, but I didn't really discriminate, you know. But if I like it, I like it. That's all that matters. I mean, there's just stuff, but so I moved to New York.
Yeah.
I lived there for a little while. You know, worked at Tower Records there, and then the people I was living with decided they wanted to move back to California.
Okay.
You know, so they moved back to California. They moved to Sacramento. I moved to Stockton. But by the time I came back to Stockton, I've worked at like Tower for another year and stuff, and it was cool. But you know, like you leave a place and you go to some place like New York, it's hard to go back. Yeah. So I had to find a compromise. I mean, you know, it was either Sacramento or LA. So, you know, my girlfriend was here. You know, my friends were here, and I love Sacramento. Sacramento people always been cool. You know, sewer truck guys, and you know, my friend Steve was going to college here and stuff. So I was like, why not? Moved to Sacramento and called Sacramento home for like, shoot, dude, it's almost like 30 years. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, really?
I mean, I'm still consider myself a Stocktonian, but
yeah.
I'm pretty much a Sacramentan.
Yeah, I moved after high school. I moved into LA, and I was there for like 2.5, 3 years, and then from there back to Lodi, and then over to Oakland for like 4 years. But yeah, I said it on here before. Like Sacramento is just a good mix of both those places, but it's also its own place too.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely Sacramento has like its own spirit.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people move here from the outside area, but I wouldn't trade my Stockton years for anything. Our friends I grew up with, you know, Stockton's kind of it can be kind of a hard, dark place. So
for sure.
You have a lot of adventures. Like, you know, you get a lot of kids from Sacramento, and they don't have any of the adventures we had.
Yeah.
You know? Or they didn't have such nefarious childhoods, like doing bad things. Like, you know, like, you didn't do bad things when you were a kid. And they're like, nah, dude, I never saw some dude get stabbed. Or it's like, oh, you missed out.
Yeah, dude, I saw a guy get in a motorcycle wreck on fucking Saturday.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we were up at Twin Bridges, and I was at my sister and brother's cabin, or brother-in-law's cabin. And, yeah, dude, you see some dude wiped out on his bike, and it was nuts. But, yeah, seeing stuff like that definitely, at a very young age, definitely sculpts you and forms you and everything. That's crazy you went to Senior L, man. That's nuts.
I'm trying to think of who my music teacher was really cool.
I couldn't tell you anything I learned in junior high.
Dude, I had such great teachers, man. We had like our ceramics teacher was awesome until we blew up the kiln. I always had fun. I mean, I didn't always have fun outside of class, but class was always fun though. I had like these crazy like Marine dude that always grabbed kids and throw them out of their chairs in math class because they were stupid.
Yeah,
and, you know, and you were just like, dude, why don't you why don't you just do the lesson, dude? Why'd you piss that dude off?
Yeah.
He used to crack me up. I used to think he was hilarious. People were like, he's such a jerk. And I'm like, nah, dude, I love that class. Class is like, always something happens every day.
Yeah, I had an ag econ class that was like that. And this was in high school, and the teacher flipped me over in the desk. And I was like, Jesus, okay, I guess I won't make that dumbass comment again.
Yeah, I loved that class. That was like the cool thing. You had like cool liberal teachers, and you had cool hardcore right-wing Republican teachers, so you definitely got to see the world. And I remember going from one class to another, and you're like, the other teacher, and he's like, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's a hippie, pinko, commie. Nobody wants to hear what he says.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you what really happened.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this is awesome. Do you eventually get in a shouting match?
Dude, I just remember, like, there was Mr. Fry. He was the science teacher when I was there. I don't know if he was...
I don't remember Mr.
Yeah.
Fry.
That's the only one I remember. That's the only teacher I remember from there. And this was like 94, 95, so like that's when Green Day was blowing up. That's when the Offspring Smash came out. That's when Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, that's when that came out. Like I remember everybody had that Zero shirt. That's Senior L, is just the Zero shirt everywhere. So that's a trip, man. That's cool. I didn't know you grew up in that area. That's awesome.
You know what used to blow me away about Senior L? We'd be sitting there having lunch, and they'd always try to play music and be cool to the kids. Yeah. But I used to always wait for the food fight to break out when Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall would start.
Oh, really? Wow, they would play that there?
Yeah.
That's pretty ballsy.
Whoever teacher was in charge, it was pretty subversive. Yeah. I mean, they played the usual stuff, REO Speedwagon, whatever was the biggest.
Hey, everybody. If you liked what you just heard and you'd like to hear more than just a 14-minute long clip, like and subscribe to Steve Giammona Show. It can be found on YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. Thanks again, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Okay.
Does that work?